Welcome to PNW Prop Stars, the only Seahawks only gambling show in the multiverse. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner. I am joined by fine young cannibals. Wilson, I don't even know if you know that band. Let's start there. Let's start with pop culture. Adam loves this. 80s bands. Wilson, do you know who the fine young cannibals are? Is that something that's in your brain at this point?
No.
Okay. Adam, it drives me crazy. Who are you a huge fan of the fine young cannibals, and why do you have 3 of their tattoos? Let's start there.
Well, first, the logo fits perfectly on the small of my back, and so I figured why not put the logo right there. And secondly, they're better than the ugly young cannibals. So, I'm a big fan.
Perfect. All right. So we got Wilson Kahn. He's back on the East Coast in Princeton. We got Adam in the mountains of Montana. And this is PNW Prop Stars. We're going to go through the picks, the parlays, the best things you could possibly do, hopefully, with your hard-earned scuttle as the Bills head out to the PNW in what appears to be a rainy day. Adam, what do we want folks to do as we get going? Please, we are charging towards 5K, but what do they got to do to, raise the hawk, bud?
Well, first and foremost, don't follow any of our bets if you want to have money in your pocket. So do that first. Ignore all the gambling tips that you're going to get on today's show. But secondly, because we're so honest about it, you might as well just hit like and subscribe and help a brother out. That'd be great. And right. Maybe that does get us back on track. I honestly think that it's up to you guys. It's not even an us problem at this point.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so please do hit that subscribe, hit the likes, and drop the comments. It helps a ton. It's free, and it matters a lot to us. We're really trying to grow this thing to a place where, hey, I've got a personal plan. Adam knows about it. Brandon knows about it. I probably told Wilson about it over a beer, but I want five more years, and I want to be done with regular life and just talking football. So help me get there. That's what I want to do. All right. So, and this is the way to do it here: youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast. You subscribe, you can join out there as a member, or go to getintheflock.com to contribute to the show, get involved in our Discord and all that. It's a lot of fun. Boys, I am calling this Rain Men, another play from the 1980s. What can I tell you? I know what I know. But the subtitle here, Dazzle in Seattle or Fizzle in the Drizzle, because it is supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain. It's supposed to be fairly windy, 14 to 16 mile per hour winds, which is pretty substantial. And you got one dude who kind of takes care of the ball, maybe a bit better. They both like to go downfield. And one guy who's a larger version of the gunslinger of a Brett Favre era, right? Like a Big Ben had a baby with Brett Favre, and it came out as Josh Allen. So we'll see if they can take care of the ball. Now, the thing we have to go before we can get to the future, we've got to honor the past. And very quickly, too, on YouTube, I forgot to put this in there. Just asking folks, hey, what's up? Like, how are we going to contain Josh Allen? Can we, put a couple of answers out there? And most people, vast majority, said, hey, consistent pressure with the front four, probably like a la the Giants did to Brady in 2 Super Bowls, is the best way to do it. Through the weather in there. But most people, Adam, are thinking, hey, just get pressure with your front four. How are you feeling as we go into this game before we get to the bets that we got Byron back? The front four is pretty healthy minus Nwosu. And, what kind of difference making do you think Byron makes up there? Did you see enough of it last week versus the Falcons?
Well, it's hard to say with as poor as the Falcons team is. I know everybody keeps saying that was a good win over a good team. I think it was a good win over a poor team. I think the Bills aren't actually a good team, and they pass protect, I think, a little bit better than the Falcons. Not only that, but Josh Allen is light years more mobile than Kirk Cousins. And so in terms of, or Tom Brady for that matter, you mentioned the Giants over the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Part of their script was to get pressure with the front seven or the front four. Yeah. And even if you do, I think Josh Allen's going to be able to escape and make some magic. You see, the thing is, you had the answer to this question not even on the chart. The answer to this question is to possess the freaking football and keep Josh Allen off the field. That's the best way that they can do to contain Josh Allen. And we'll see if they stick to the script. I'm actually betting on it.
All right. So, Wilson, do you like that philosophy? Do you think it's pressure with our front four, or is the combination of just, hey, the best way to not let a dude beat you is to keep him? It's a pretty fun game, right? This is not like basketball. It's like the starting 5 is out there. You swap 11 dudes out there, unless it's Iron Man football. Josh Allen's not playing cornerback, hopefully. So what do you think? Is it just keep him off the field, or when he's out there, get the pressure, or how would you frame it?
I think keeping him off the field is a great plan, and time of possession is something that we've struggled with at times this year. Obviously, don't want to remind everyone of the Giants game, but
Yeah,
there's
no.
evidence that that strategy obviously works.
Yeah, so I think that, and I believe that'll show up on our picks, our parlays, our props, the whole thing already. Perhaps even the Sunday rubber. We'll find out. And again, before we do look ahead, we got to look to the past, and we got to honor. We got to honor what's happening here. So the PNW Prop Star champion of week 7, and then we have a correction for week 6 to talk about as well. But Wilson, it was weird for me when you shouted this at me at that time. There's not an exclamation point here, but the kneel before me, the Princetonian of Parlays, the future president of the United States of America, PNW Prop Star champion, week 7. You took one home. What was the one you hit on to remind the viewers?
It was the Bijan bet, the parlay that I felt terrible about, that I didn't think was going to happen, and it hit in the first half.
Of course, right? Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then we bottled it up, like which we've been doing, right? Like bottling things up or making the adjustments, which has been nice to see. But yeah, Bijan 70+ yards, and I think that might have been something else there.
I threw on anytime.
That's right, anytime touchdown. So that was the one. Once again, we go 1 out of 9 in our top bets. Hence, Adam saying, you might not want to listen to us, but at least for the entertainment value and analyzing the game in a net new way, stick around. We think it's going to be some fun. And this is the week it all changes. I could feel it. Speaking of change, though, Adam, I've got to apologize. I just miscalculated. I think you did as well. Week 6, we celebrated my victory. It was not my victory. You were the PNW Prop Star champion. So sorry to take it away and give it back, after death here. But you did win week 6, so congrats, and nice that you got back on the board there, dude.
Well, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. And then secondly, then I think I must be the actual legitimate reigning champion, because I will kneel before no trader, Wilson. Like, you can't hit on bets on the other team's success and then claim victory for the week. I think it's gross. I think it's an illegitimate crown, and I'm not a fan.
I love it. Okay. Well, the rules are what they are, which, to remind everybody that we go through 4 bets. 3 of them we just classify as bet 1, bet 2, bet 3, $10 a pop. Bet anything you want on the board, Adam. Anything you want on the board, including bets, for our opponents to either succeed or fail, right? And that's at $10, any odds you want to take. And of course, we have the dollar kicker. We call it the Fail Mary, the Sunday rubber. $1 bet must be plus 1,200 or longer odds to qualify, hence the names we give it. And that's how we round out $31 in honor of Cam Chancellor. And we also play by golf rules, meaning Wilson wins. He's first in the tee box. Wilson, where are you going first down and why?
Well, I missed this one last week because of a massive lead that the Seahawks came away with, and a lack of necessity to throw the ball around too much. I think this last week, this exact bet was 140, maybe something like that. So obviously there's lowered confidence in the fact that Geno will hit 250. Maybe it's the weather. Maybe it's DK being very much unlikely to play. I think that's a bit of an overreaction. I think Geno should hit 250, and K9, with the way he's been playing, is the way he's been featured. I feel pretty good about both these things happening at 220. Those are definitely numbers I can live with.
Plus 220 is nice. That's spicy and juicy to start out of the gate. The 250 plus, Adam, I mean, that's the part that is like, I don't know, because of what you said, right? It's like, hey, if we intend to control the ball, then does that just naturally dampen Geno with a 250? It is going to be not great weather out there. Of the 2 parts here, which part do you think is more risky for the Princetonian, Adam?
Yeah, it's definitely the 250 passing yards for me. You look at last week, and it was his second lowest total all season against the Falcons. And that was with Grubb, to give him some credit, especially in the first half, got after the run a bit more as a play caller. And so I think it's going to be tough for him to get to 250, especially against a pass rush like Rousseau and company, and not having DK, I think is a big deal. But hey, I am here for a extra spicy first bet for Wilson. I'm actually I'm actually partly planning on this behavior from you guys with my bets going forward here.
A little teaser. And yes, to say for Marlon, yes, we are live. So we don't get to always do these live on Saturday mornings. I mean, heck, we have a college kid in our midst here. So I try not to punish the guy and be like, hey, man, want to wake up early and do a show? And he goes, but he's here. And I was traveling for work this week. So they acquiesced and helped out, which is super cool. And then I do want to shout out Tom Davis. We started with this visual of Ben Roethlisberger and Brett Favre having a baby. And basically Tom saying, no, thank you. Don't ever do that again. I don't want to look at that stomachy thing that comes out of what's the movie where he goes to Mars, where Arnold goes to Mars? Total Recall, right? He's got the stomachy thing at the end there. That's how I envision this little hybrid.
Yeah, I was thinking of Alien.
Yeah, well, Alien as well. They're very similar. I think it's called Guato or something like that. Guato. He's got the weird hands that starts the reactor at the end. They terraform Mars. Pretty darn good movie. The older one, the newer one, it's mid, but the older one, of course, is a bit superior. Okay, speaking of superior boys, well, actually, it's Adam. He's up second, not me this week. Adam, where you going, dude? This was and to your point, you see on screen here, you think maybe folks are going to go a little spicy, and maybe you took a different turn. Take us there and why.
Well, you can't go broke making a profit, and I've been going super broke, losing money week in, week out, and I'm starting to get worried that I'm going to run out of virtual money to bet on the show. So at the end of the day, I'm going fairly conservative this week, and I think it might be part of my strategy going forward as well. You know how like when you're playing golf and like by about the 12th hole, you realize you've only hit one fairway and you've been spraying the driver all over the course the entire time. And you're like, you know what? It's time to just go safe here. And I'm pulling a tin cup. I'm breaking all the other clubs. I'm just pulling out the 7-iron. I'm hitting it short and straight and right down the middle every single time. So Seahawks plus 9.5 points for minus 296. Yeah, it doesn't pay out much, but it sure does give me my $10 back on a pretty high probability. So that's what I'm looking for here.
Wilson, he's putting his $10 in to basically get maybe $13 back out. He's like buying US bonds at this point. He's got to, wait an entire game and get back some sort of a guaranteed return. However, the part that for me, Wilson, besides my golf game being miserable because I'd be in rough no matter what club I'm taking out, is the fact that this is still a Buffalo Bills team that's pretty darn good. So would it shock me if they win 30-20 and this busts? I wouldn't be shocked. So for me, Wilson, what you get back versus the possibility the Bills are a better team on paper, a better team in DVOA, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think I love this one. And how about you, dude? I have a feeling you're going to be with me on this.
I sure hope this one hits. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, me as well. I definitely I hope so too. And we got some other folks, always double down, Adam, 300 plus 300, everything. Marley wants Wilson 300s across the board here. And Wilson, what was the line you said about, you could only, how's it go? You could only lose so much and take it away.
Yeah, you can only lose 100% of your money, but you could win a lot more than 100% back.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Love that. So especially when we're playing, we're here to play a game, right? We're having some fun with it. All right. So sometimes, guys, you got to surf the interwebs or even just the applications, which are not really part of the internet. So different apps were wildly different in my bet. And I'll put it on screen here. And there's a nice comment I'll throw up in a second as well, because I think it goes along with it real nicely. But when I see a discrepancy like this, I first go, why? And then I think, do I like that bet? And then I'll go take the better bet. So on DraftKings, this bet, which is K9 anytime touchdown, was minus 140. I'm like, I don't love minus 140. He's the most likely to score a touchdown. It is raining. He clearly can, score via the ground, through the air. Definitely a 3-down threat now, which is great, and a great rotation of this Grubb offense. So one of the things I'm very excited about is treating Grubb the way he's being treated. And Adam, still to your point, I can go for less of the other dudes and more canines still, but at least he's out there receiving a lot of balls too. So DraftKings has it at minus 140. FanDuel has it at minus 110. That is a big percentage difference. So once I saw that, I liked it. K9 anytime touchdown minus 110. And I think we got Lou here says K9 touchdown, easy money. So There's other parts to it, the Geno 250. So he's going back to Wilson, your bet there saying, hey, really liking one part, maybe not liking the other. So I think Lou's going to be with me. Wilson, I know you think this hits. Adam, I know anytime touchdowns, the variance is not your favorite thing, but what do you think about K9's chances of getting in the end zone this Sunday?
I do think the Seahawks score some points in this game, and even with the rain, even against a good Bills defense, the offense has been relatively consistent over the last couple games and for the season in terms of getting points on the board, not quarter to quarter, but overall in a game getting points on a board. And I really do think with DK out, JSN not having the season that maybe we all hope that he would to this point, I think they lean on the run game a little bit more with K9 looking electric, even with the flu. So I like this for even odds, man, basically. I think it's a good bet.
Yeah. And the parts that you're talking about too is the big thing is like, look, the NFL understands that the Bills are a little smaller up front, and of the things they do well, stopping the run's that's not their jam. They're not great at stopping the run. So, hopefully this is just a continuation of the maturation of the Grub offense, and McDonald being like, dude, this is how we beat this team. We keep Josh off the field and we feed our best player or second best player, as I know, Adam, you were talking about Geno and then K9 and like a 1-2 punch there. So, all right. So Adam, that brings you up on your second down bet. Well, no, that's incorrect. No, that's right. Second down bet. You take it away, dude.
Yeah, I think I actually made this bet before knowing that it was going to be raining, but I do think both teams are able to move the ball to a large degree, especially if they kind of key in with K9 and Sharps here. So each team to score a touchdown or a field goal, just get that 10 points. Should be easy peasy pumpkin squeezy, minus 220. Again, I will keep my $10 as you guys bet on more fanciful things. And all I need to do is go 2 for 3 each and every week, and you'll fall right back into my lap.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. He's into pumpkin spice latte season here with that vernacular. Wilson, you're a California kid, but you're now in the Northeast. What's your take on pumpkin spice everything, anything? And do you like this bet as well? Are there enough points to go around to make this happen?
Pumpkin spice, I've never had I don't drink coffee, so I've never had the latte version. So I can't speak too much on that. I do like cookies. Pumpkin spice cookies are pretty good.
Yeah.
This bet I also like. I think 220 is a pretty reasonable number for this. It didn't happen last week, but I think there's pretty solid chance that'll hit this game.
Yeah, I like it too, Adam. I think it's I have a little more confidence in our team and the way we play and the decisions we make that Myers will get his opportunities. The Bills side, you figure one field goal, they just got to stall out one time or more. The challenge being that Tyler Bass is really, really struggling this year. So it's just the propensity for the Bills and McDermott to want to go for it, knowing their field goal kicker is struggling, might eat into this a bit, but still, I think this is one where you're putting $10 down, you're getting back like 14, 20 or something like that. If I'm trying to do the math pretty quick, I like it, man. I think it's I like it a lot better than your first bet. And I think it's actually even potentially more probable. So good job by you. All right. So I'm up on my second down bet, guys. We've been talking a lot about in the preamble and as we got going that the way to win this game is going to be through the vestibule of K9 getting the ball a lot. Here's the deal. 3 out of 5 times. So the bet is K9 with the longest run of over 16.5 yards. We all know he's explosive. We know he gets those cutback lanes going and he's around the bend, and he's even in a flu game where he wasn't quite as quick. He broke off a couple of these, no problem whatsoever. In 3 of 5 games that he's played, because he missed a few, in 3 of 5, he hit this. I'm going to extract the one game where inexplicitly he got 5 freaking carries versus 5. Why did we lose to the New York Giants? Because he touched the ball, I think 7 times total, 5 carries for K9. I think McDonald had enough and was like, no, never again. So if he gets his average range of carries, 14, 16 carries, I really like the idea that he breaks one of these. I really do, guys. So Again, against a team that you can run on. A little draw, a little counteraction, something from the shotgun. Get like the guys like Rousseau, who's really fast off the ball, committing upfield, and you hit a lane, get one seal block, and he's down the sideline for 22 yards in the first quarter. And I'm texting you guys, cash it in. Wilson, do you believe K9 captures this one for me?
Yeah, I think this one definitely hits.
I like it. Well, then why don't you take it? Adam, what do you think? Is K9 scampering for this one? And are we celebrating together? Because this is good for the Hawkra.
Yeah, I like your logic in terms of just kind of going in on K9 this week. You'll kind of see that in my last bet here of the week. And the one thing about this that does, just like kind of make me wonder is just the variance of explosives of a certain length, right? Sure. Like I could see K9 having, 5 12-yard runs real easy, right? And then if you're betting on a total, then it helps you towards that. But to get that one that's over 16.5, I mean, he's explosive. He does seem to, get out the gate and really, put it downfield. But I don't know, that variance there of just kind of that one long shotty kind of thing for only -120, that I don't know. I don't love it. I don't hate it.
Okay. Somewhere in the middle there. Somewhere in the middle there. I should be a little more articulate with my words. Marlon is also saying on screen, Bill's run D has been bad, especially on a per carry basis. And they also lost the middle linebacker, who's they're just their kind of best up front 7 in terms of run defense with Bernard. I think it's either Terrell or I think it's Terrell Bernard. But either way, Bernard, a good, solid NFL linebacker, which, by the way, I love the fact, boys, that we're talking for the first time since we got ourselves a good, solid NFL linebacker. So nice upgrade between Murphy being healthy and, of course, Ernest Jones now back there, a dude who really understands how to play in Mike McDonald's system. I'm fired up about that. And again, it's something that I think helps depress the overall scores and the other dudes out there like James Cook or Ray Davis, et cetera, et cetera. All right, Wilson, back to you for third down, bud. Where are you going? Oh, sorry, second down. Where are you going?
I'm going to JSN, over 5.5 receptions at 105. I would have liked the number to be a little higher here, considering he's actually only hit this once this year in the game that we were at, where he had 12 catches for whatever reason. Metcalf is doubtful. He's not going to play. And I think with him out, JSN's the next guy up. I know he's not been as targeted as much in the screen game and things like that. But with, perhaps some inclement weather, I can see the Seahawks taking it short a little bit more. And also with DK out, not airing it out as much, in which case that favors JSN's game. Bills' pass defense is fine. It's pretty much middle of the road. So that doesn't give me any pause either when it comes to taking this bet.
Well, I want to see how quick Adam's head can explode. I know that you've been talking about you and Brandon talked about JSN is what are we going to get? And you did a great job on the flagship, Adam, breaking down where is the special sauce. Like he doesn't quite have the unbelievable hands that we were sold on. He doesn't quite have the breakaway ability. Doesn't quite have the savvy that Tyler Lockett has to get late separation. You did a real nice job. He's not quite fast enough to be Zay Flowers out on the edge, right? So it's like, well, then where does he fall as an NFL baller? The part that might make your head explode is in the rain. If it's 5.5 receptions and over, what if 3 or 4 of those are those bubble screens that you're wanting to scrub out of the playbook, dude?
Yeah, I could see that being a part of what Grubb does. I mean, that's one of the things that he's been trying to complement the running game with, is getting to the quick passing game and especially wide receiver screens and things like that. I just don't think that he has a receiver on this roster that's suited for it, short of Shenault, and they don't seem to want to put him in that position. And look, I don't love this bet only because of personal experience this year, man. I'm swearing off JSN for the rest of the year. I've tried predicting this breakout game from him again and again and can't seem to find it. I know he had the nice game when we were there in New England, but I'm underwhelmed so far this year with JSN, and he's just a stay away for me. But without any DK, you would think that he would have an increase in targets. That's for sure.
Ball's got to go somewhere. And Wilson, if Adam is now swearing it off, well, then maybe it's a nice little bet that we get to tease Adam with later. It's Hey, I mean, just, hey, patterns are what they are right now, right? And but by the way, that doesn't mean I've been coming up roses with my picks either. Marlon asked a good question. I want to address this. Thank you for asking, and of course, everybody who's there live, please do chime in. We are live on a Saturday morning. It's a lot of fun, and if you're here, hit the likes. Please subscribe. Drop a comment. It all helps. Marlon asks, do you win by how many bets you hit? Let's say 2 out of 3 bets and then the Fail Mary, or the total money gained? The answer, and I wouldn't even say the lost part, but total money earned. It's the total money. So Marlon, you could have one pick at plus 300, fail on your others, and then smoke the field potentially that way. Hence, there is this gamesmanship going on, where Wilson introduced it year 1. We're now in year 3 of PNW Prop Stars, that he would kind of crank up his bets as he went along. And if he would hit one at the back end of his 3, he was winning a lot of weeks that way. So it does have that flavor of a little of a game within the game. So really cool question. Glad you asked. All right, that brings me to third down. So I'm on a different wave from the JSN one also, and it might be straight up recency bias. What I know is not recency bias, and what's on the screen is Lockett at over 4.5 receptions, and then Khalil Shakir, the Bills, wide receiver 2-ish, slot guy, works the middle of the field a lot. Now with Amari Cooper there, Keon Coleman there, Dalton Kincaid, the balls have got to be spread around, but Shakir works the middle of the field and works it pretty well for him to go over 3.5. So to repeat that again, Lockett over 4.5 receptions, Shakir over 3.5 receptions at a pretty healthy plus 208. The piece for me is, yes, DK is doubtful. Doesn't mean he won't play, but probably won't play, right? Saturday, he was a doubtful on Friday. Likely not going to play, take a week off, get back for the Rams game is how I see it. Lockett is the exact opposite of inconsistent. It's like, it's just kind of set it and forget it. And with DK out, I could very easily see Lockett getting 8 to 10 targets, maybe even 12 targets. And if he's that level, I think he's catching 5, 6, 7, 8 receptions and hitting that part easy. The Shakir part, more on, I like him. I like the way he works the field. And on a windy day, things that are short and quick and obvious, I think Josh Allen will take advantage of that. And I think Shakir maybe squeaks over that. That part has me more worried. Adam, is there a piece of this? I know one's a bill, but besides that, try to suspend that for a second. Is there a piece of this you think is more secure than the other?
I would say the Shakir part's probably the more secure part, but not by much. Lockett has been super clutch in pretty much every game, and I can see him coming up with 5 clutch catches throughout this game with an unlikely appearance from DK. And then Shakir seems to be more their gadget guy in the weather and getting the ball to your receivers in the short passing game. I could see him being the target maybe more so than Amari Cooper or their tight ends, who actually I think are really darn good. Wilson, I don't know if you agree with me, but that would be my take on it.
Yeah, I feel more confident in the Lockett aspect. Betting on Shakir, have fun. I don't know. It could be 2,
almost
it could be 7.
Right. It's almost like me taking a Mooney bet out of the blue last week, and that didn't hit either. He actually did pretty well, but not the numbers I needed. Hence you're the champion. I'm not. Nate Schutz is commenting live. Thanks, Nate, for joining us. He says that the one that's on screen. He goes, that's a good bet. He's worried about Shakir against us. It's one of those things. I just like Shakir as a player, and we have struggled. I will counteract that and say, look, the Ernest Jones addition is a big one. Ernest Jones is a really good middle linebacker who understands his coverage responsibilities. He's very good against the run, but he knows the drop zone very, very well. And again, that's where Shakir likes to do his work. So I'm arguing a bit against myself. Won't be the last time. All right. So that was me. That brings us back to, I believe it is, this is Wilson on this one. Wilson, take it away, dude.
Well, I'm taking a swing on third down with the lack of confidence still in our ability to cover tight ends. Pitts got out early out of the gates last week and had a really good first half against us. I slowed down in the second half, but I still feel like the tight end area is somewhere that our defense can be exploited. I keep that in mind also with the fact that Allen doesn't really have a lot of options on the edge. I know they got Cooper. He's a name, but he's definitely over the hill at this point in his career. So I'm not super concerned about him. The thing that gives me the reason this is 390 is because Kincaid has not hit 70 plus this year. He's been in the 60s, I think, once or twice. So it would have to be his best game of the season. But the good news is he's not really splitting too much with Knox. Knox has very much been second fiddle, not really done much this year. So at 390, I felt okay going spicy here.
Yeah,
With
definitely.
Kincaid.
It's a spicy one. You see the little fire emoji if you're watching on YouTube. So careful, everybody. This one is spicy. By the way, I put it on screen as Kincaid. So he doesn't even get his second K. It's just this 1K. It was one K only. It was probably when they came over and hit Ellis Island, they lost the K somehow. And I'm not sure exactly when that happened, but my bad there. I apologize to the entire Kincaid family. I'm sure they're watching. Wilson, what is the over under? If he's plus 390 at 70, is Vegas saying this is more like 42, 45? Do you have that in front of you somewhere?
I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, my guess would have been like low to mid 40s. Is probably where the over under's at.
Okay, so Adam, are you are you afraid of the big bad Kincaid as well? And is 70 plus within reason for this Seahawks team? 2024 Seahawks maybe different than our past ghosts. How are you feeling about this bet?
Yeah, I've never been afraid of a KitchenAid, but at this point, I am a little bit afraid of Kincaid in this game. Look, I mean, you mentioned Ernest Jones and the acquisition there. I imagine he plays in terms of his skill set, definitely better against the run than the pass, and trying to fit in with the new Mike McDonald scheme. I don't think it's just plug and play and he's going to be great there. I think it's going to take a minute or two. And Kincaid, to Wilson's credit, he's exactly right. He has been the primary target in terms of tight ends over top of Knox. And look, I like everything about this bet except for just the treasonous part of this. I mean, this is gross. And just because you bet on it means it'll probably hit. If this does hit, then we all know it's Wilson's fault. So you can live with that, Wilson. Yeah.
I love that. And hey, look, these dudes can make these bets and our Seahawks can still win, right? Not mutually exclusive. What is mutually exclusive is that it is KINCAID, as Nate Schutz is pointing out. There is no second K, so glad we kept it off there. It's like, hey, it was never meant to be there. So KitchenAid, Kincaid, Frigidaire, it's all good. Let's take us to the next bet. And this is going to be, I think, Mr. Adam, this is your third down bet. Again, a little conservative, a little less conservative, a smidgen conservative at minus 125. However, man, this is straight up maybe cash it. Talk about it.
Yeah, this is the spiciest meatball out of all my bets here. And just going in on the idea that I didn't know about the weather before when I made this bet, but the weather not being great, DK out, seemingly them getting the ball into K9's hands more throughout the Falcons game. I think it makes only perfect sense that he's going to get his touches. And when he does, he has success. I don't think that they're going to be able to keep him under 50 for sure. 60 starts to get a little bit concerning, but was just looking for something in the K9 range that was a little closer to even odds and that I could relatively easily see hitting.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, this is. I think we all are. Of course, we have our homer veil on us, and we're like, okay, if Seattle is to stay in this game and keep Josh off the field, then this thing would be true. Otherwise, we're in for a long day. It sounds like, right? So I could easily get there. Wilson, I was just over I was telling you earlier, I was over in Cambridge, Massachusetts, just literally across the river from Boston this week for work. It's on the compound of like MIT. So Massachusetts, MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and then a couple other schools there. Really beautiful part of the country. And I met a dude from Minnesota, and we were discussing, is an innovation conference, and they're discussing appetites for risk. And he's like, I'm from Minnesota. He's like, people think ketchup is far too spicy. So is Adam going down the path here of just, if this is his spiciest, do you think it's a recipe for winning a week with us two daredevils?
Sure, why not? I haven't seen anyone go this conservative since Mitt Romney 2012, but this is This is a
You should
definitely
see
could be a
where
recipe
you should
to
see
win.
where I put my dog when we travel. Like, yeah,
That's funny, man. Funny stuff. Love it, love it. Hey, and hey, if we could, it is political season. What can you do? And to get a little one in there is a ton of fun, right? And who the heck cares about a 2012 Mitt Romney? Love it, love it. All right, so we are up to the Sunday rubber. This is, of course, the Fail Mary, the $1 Sunday scratcher, the Sunday rubber that everybody calls it that. Plus 1,200 or longer odds to qualify. Back on the tee box is Mr. Wilson himself. Wilson, where are you taking us, dude?
This is lame, but I'm just throwing together everything from downs 1 through 3. There was nothing else I could find that I remotely enjoyed in the straight up bets category. So I feel pretty solid about these first 3 bets. So if they all hit, I just give myself a little $23 bonus here. So.
Yeah, I love this. And it's, Adam, you know what I'll say about this? If you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly, right? So if you believe in bet 1, bet 2, bet 3, well, then putting it into a blender and making a little plus 2,300 smoothie out of it, well, then why not? You already said you think they're going to hit, so maybe they hit. Adam, anything else besides, just leaning into your priors that you could say about this concoction?
Yeah, leaning on 4 variables is quite a bit. I try to get my Fail Marys to at least 3 or less. It's a lot to go for there, but I don't know. Maybe they teach math better over there at MIT than they do at Princeton. Man, like this one seems like a long shot. Like I don't know.
Well, Wilson, you could argue on behalf of your Tigers, and not that I am an MIT grad. I think you all know I'm a UConn grad, go Huskies. But I would say the MIT students probably do have the upper hand in mathematics over pretty much anybody else in America. I think that's fairly fair to say. Wilson, would you say that's true?
I couldn't speak on that. I haven't taken a math class here, but
good for you.
Yeah,
good for you.
I didn't think that anybody from Princeton would acknowledge any other college in the nation. I was pretty sure that that's how that was going to go down. Yeah.
and like the future president that he is, a little bit of I'm going to answer the question the way I want to. I'm going to defer that and not actually answer the question, right? So, well, I'll speak on behalf of America and say, yeah, MIT would whip butt in math. Also, I took calculus in high school. Never took a college course in college either. College didn't have to take math. Was able to get out of it, and that was the best thing I ever did. All right, so Adam, you're going to get a little ribbing as we get into your Fail Mary. Marlon picking up what we're all putting down. He says, "Is Adam going to go minus 1,200 on his Fail Mary?" Which is really funny. And maybe if he could, he would. He's not allowed to. Plus 1,200 or longer. Adam, what is your Fail Mary?
Yeah, you're right here, Clinton. Marlon, it's the stupid rules that prevented me from doing that there, but just trying to get something down that was, again, the fewest variables possible. And look, I'm with Wilson here, going through a lot of the bets and trying to find a Fail Mary this week. There was nothing that tickled me at all. And so just getting something for K9 here, first TD. I mean, I hate betting on the first TD rather than anytime TD, but again, we're going for long shots here. And then in Geno, even without DK, with the rain, everything that's going into this game, he hasn't been under 270 passing yards all but 2 times this year. So yeah, that was kind of my thought process here. I don't love it, but it's a Fail Mary. There it is. And again, you guys were jerks and wouldn't let me pick up minus 1,200 bet. So here we are.
I mean, look, it's a dollar for a reason, right? Just because it's like, whatever, let's throw it out there. So you got to find something. Hey, last week, Wilson didn't like the bet that eventually made him prop star champion. And as a team, we have not celebrated we're going on week 8. We haven't hit one Fail Mary yet this year, which is unlike the first couple of years. A couple times in a row, Wilson hit a few, which is a lot of fun. All right, and Nate Schutz is also saying here live, he's taking the over. He thinks 47 is just too low. I put that on screen to kind of parlay with this Fail Mary. It's like, all right, well, if we're going to go over 47, then Geno probably just have to put up quite a number of yards. So I think they go together quite well. All right, that leaves only me on my bet here. I also don't love first down touchdowns, but we got to get to plus 1,200. This to me is just some deduction. I got Lockett, first touchdown of the game. I think it's like, okay, look, I think he's going to double his targets. If DK is not there, I think Lockett ends up with 8 to 12 targets on the day. That's kind of the range I think he sits in without DK. All right. If I think that is it pretty plausible that he could be the first touchdown scorer? I mean, yeah, always a yes, right? He's only got 1 touchdown in the year, but that's the full complement of wide receivers. It might be reduced. It looks like it will be. And wouldn't we all love to see Lockett getting us up 7-0 or 6-0 early with a pending PAT? Wilson, wouldn't that just delight your heart if we saw Lockett dancing in the end zone and go up 6-0?
Yeah, and even if it would be your bet, we do need to get a Fail Mary on the board here. So
yeah, we really do. Well, boys, that'll take us to the end here. So hope everybody had some fun. We got a bunch of people joining us for Saturday morning, which is super cool. I know it's very early in the PNW, and this is going to be, Adam, I think you were one of the only voices out there that I heard that was consistent before the Falcons game and then after the Falcons game being like, this is actually not a quality win. I think lots, and I'd say the majority of either the punditry and then Seahawks fans have been really spiking the football, being like, oh, we got a really quality win versus a really quality opponent on the road. Really quality win, 20 plus points is always a quality win. But I think you were onto something that Atlanta was, we kind of kicked them in their teeth and said, not so much. How would you feel if it doesn't matter, eke it out, squeak it out, win by 10, win by 20 versus these Buffalo Bills? Where would it bring you where would it take your Hawkra going into week 9?
Yeah, I'm glad that you kind of ended up characterizing it is a quality win. It just wasn't a quality opponent. They did exactly what they were supposed to do against a mediocre to bad team. And I was excited to see it. It was fun to watch them play a more complete football game, and it gives you some hope going against one of the guys or one of the teams in this league that is a quality team. And you able to get these guys at home this week. This is one in the stretch here of Falcons, Bills, Rams, where you're like, this is probably the one you're going to drop. If you get this one and then go and play a banged up Rams team next week that I know ended up sneaking out a victory over the Vikings with some questionable officiating and all that, all of a sudden you go into that bye week and you're sitting in the catbird seat, and the Niners with all their troubles could be far away in the rearview mirror. So it's an important game. It's not a devastating loss by any stretch of the imagination, considering it's out of conference and in division. I don't know, Wilson, are you feeling super confident going into this one, or are you a little more subdued about it?
I wouldn't say I'm super confident, but I'm also not terribly scared of the Bills, or as much as I would have been, say, 2 years ago. Obviously, they've still got Josh Allen, but the weapons on offense, besides Kincaid, of course, don't keep me up at night. So
yeah. And then one last question before we cut it out of here. And Wilson, I'll go back to you first and over to you, Adam. Let's say Seattle wins this game. Who's the big Seattle superstar that you think we're looking at that's like, oh man, like either took it over, had the big play, the big moment, either side of the ball, special teams? What would you say is, who's the dude we're really gravitating towards post game?
I think it's got to be K9. I know Adam was mentioning earlier the possibility of really playing possession in this game with the adjustments that Grubb's been making. If K9's over 100 twice in the end zone, the Seahawks are going to win this game. So,
ooh, I like that. Adam, any other places you take it, or would you double down on K9?
It's going to be Mike Jarrell. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit off the board, and my bets don't reflect it, but I really feel like to get LaVisca a little bit more involved in this game with DK not playing. I like Bobo, and obviously we all want to see more Bobo, but I have a feeling that in this style of football game that they're going to need to play, that Chenault's skill set fits a little bit better in terms of the quick passing game and some of the gadget plays and things like that. So a random LaVisca Chenault game, that'd be my guy, I think, if they are able to pull off the victory.
I like the randomness. I like the fact that we finally got around talking about Bobo. The Bobots are probably out there being like, where are the Bobo bets? By the way, I looked for them. He's not on the board. There were not reception bets for Bobo. I'm looking for one that's like over 1.5 receptions, something like that. I'm like, yeah, he's probably going to get whatever, a target, three or four more. And, he usually catches everything. He had the bad drop last week. So love that we get some Bobo talk in there. My dude is going to simply be Byron Murphy. I just watched a great video this morning, and I'm sorry that I can't even capture it. I will say this, I put it in our Discord. So again, another reason, youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast, join there, or go to getintheflock.com, become a member, because we're always sharing cool content. Yes, we create lots of cool content, but there's great stuff out there. There was a nice breakdown that was not even a Seahawks pundit dude that just went over the impact of Murphy being back in that Falcons game and how it led to Kirk being rushed, Kirk not being able to step into balls. Just great place to stretch Bijan out further and let there be cleanup, and him consistently beating double teams and freeing up Leo to be one-on-one, just consistently win. Such a difference maker. So that's my dude. It's going to be one of those, you watch the game and go, oh man, Murphy just did a job, and did it for 60 minutes and contained what can be an explosive Josh Allen-led Bills team. All right, boys, I think we did an admirable job for a Saturday morning. I had a lot of fun. Wilson, did you have fun, most importantly?
Yeah, I had a great time.
Okay, and Adam, you got to mention kitchen appliances. That must have been fun for you, yes?
Oh, more fun than a person should be allowed to have.
All right, boys, everybody go enjoy those spicy pumpkin lattes. And no matter how you enjoy it, whether that's in a donut, whether that's actually in a coffee, go enjoy. Let's have some fun. And boys, I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.